And welcome to One Stop Co-op Shop. It's Steve here, Bairnt.
Steve, it's been too long. We had our whole winter break over here. Same with you. Hey, sadly, your winter break is always different than mine. Mine involves snowblowers and snowmen, real snowmen. Yours involves like trees and grass.
Yes, it does. We did have snow flurries, but they didn't stick on the ground at all. So, yeah.
Woo! I would love a flurry or two over here. But I had a wonderful holiday. I hope you had a great holiday as well. But sadly, we didn't do anything for the last 2 weeks because they both were major holidays for us here in America, and so we didn't actually thought, well, I think we'll spend time with our family as opposed to do a co-op chat. Though we do love each and every one of you as well. I'm gonna probably start digging a hole here, Steve. So I'm just gonna stop.
I don't think our wives would have appreciated us to be like, you know what? I know Christmas morning's happening right now, but I really have to go do a stream downstairs. So,
That's right. Just have the kids hold on. We're not going to open presents yet. I'll be right back there and talk to Steve. Yep,
that's right. That's
that
right.
would win the game.
Exactly.
That's what you call a loss, a co-op loss, right there.
Oh boy. Hey, welcome Marcel and Snow and Dr. Han. Thanks for being here. So,
Good to see you all.
like this,
It's going to be fun to do some chit chatting.
it
We need to get
is.
like some like great background music, like we're at a club. Co-op chat.
Ooh.
Uh-uh. What do
Next
you think?
time, next week, I'll figure it out. We'll do it next week. Excellent. Okay, if you're first time joining us, welcome. This is the co-op chat. It is kind of unscripted, off the cuff type fun chat. We talk about anything and everything, but we do focus on co-op games. We generally, Marcel's a good point. Meet me at the table music.
Ooh,
Oh,
I can do that.
we can
I
we
got
can make it
some.
happen.
I got some beats I could lay down. Okay, not
Yeah.
beats laying down. My wife would probably be rolling her eyes right now if she heard me say that.
I like it. Yeah, next week we'll put some meet me at the table music in the background. I like. Ooh. Okay. But yeah, first time joining us, we talk about cooperative games. We're going to talk about a few news, and the news as in games that are coming to Kickstarter this coming week, and then we'll talk about upcoming games because I felt like we had a really fun time talking about the end of the year episode, doing our game of the year, all that fun stuff. But I felt like there were so many games coming this year, delivering this year, that we want to talk a lot more about them. And so I think this week and probably next week and maybe the week after, we'll see how far we get. We'll just start focusing on some of these games that are delivering.
Hmm. I think that's gonna be awesome. I really think that this year is going to be another one of those years that is going to be absolutely magical when it comes to games. I want to say like 2019 was also a real magical year for games, but I kind of think 2020 and 2021 they had some great games. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think the amount and wealth of great games came out. But I mean, everybody's got their own opinion, but that's just mine like I say, I am right most time.
Yeah, I think because I felt like every game was like, oh, the shipping's an issue, which everyone's experiencing. Shipping's crazy. Like, you know what? We'll delay it. We'll delay it. It'll be next year. Be next year. And so like some games are scheduled to deliver this year like normal, and then other games were delayed till this year. So I feel like this year's just like all the games are arriving for everyone. So it'll be
Good
busy.
stuff. I'm excited.
Okay, let's jump into the news part of it. So the first one I want to talk about, this is launching this coming Tuesday on the 11th. Sink or Swim. This is a cooperative party game, which actually looks like a lot of fun. I'm kind of excited about this one.
Party game? Is that what you said?
Party game, yeah. At least that's
Oh, I
the
thought you
vibe
said.
I get from
Oh, yeah.
it.
Okay.
And so it's 3 to 6 players, and you are doing practice rounds where you've got some cards laid in front of you, and you're trying to pass cards or play cards to complete different goals. So the goals start off easy. For example, like you might play all the cards of the same color, or maybe only odd number cards, or only even number cards, and it varies depending on what round you're in. But it's also used with a timer and a real-time app, and the app will at some time throw a twist in there. It's like, oh, everyone take a card and pass them to the left. And so you have a strategy plan phase where just like talking things over, trying to figure out what you're going to do, and then you actually execute it within a time frame. And it looks like a lot of fun. Reminds me a little bit of like the Crewish, where we've got different goals, and the goals are going to change. So I'm looking forward to seeing more about this one. But that is Sink or Swim. Let's move on to another one that I think a lot of people are already aware of. That is
Yeah.
Final Girl Series 2. This should not come as a surprise to anybody who frequents our Discord because there's a lot of Final Girl fans on there. And so now coming back with a brand new group of sets about new movies, and one of them I think Bairnt's gonna like.
Yeah, one of them is going to get bought by me. No, I plan to jump into this Kickstarter. This is going to be fun. I'm going to get all the stuff again. I watching the videos that Mike put out and some of the other content creators like Doug Herring and things like that. They've done some great jobs with some of with the game and showing it off and everything. And I'm what this is. Very rarely am I wrong for not backing something, but I was probably wrong about not backing this one. This one is pretty cool, and this is one that I could even see my wife and I playing together, even though it is solo. It's like that ability to be able to, you can still play it together and like work on figuring out your best strategies, like to do what you need to in the game, kind of like in Black Sonata, things like that, where it's like it's still just a solo experience, but you can make it co-op as long as you're kind of working as a team. So yeah, I screwed up. Even my wife, funny story, she actually was when we went to Christmas, she was opening her gifts, and she had like a couple gifts for me, and she's like, "Well, none of them are big enough to be Final Girl." I'm like, no, none of them are big. So she did not get Final Girl for Christmas, but I know she's really interested in it.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Technically, this one is a solo one, but I had to put it on here because we have such a fan base on the Discord. So. And plus, Ripley's in it, right? So
yes, the new Kickstarter does have an alien theme box that you can buy. Each one of these boxes, it's like I think how it works. You get the base box, then you can buy any of the expansions, and the expansions are all technically the mission for that particular like movie. Is kind of how they work it. Isn't that how it kind of falls together?
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. They're loosely based upon some horror movie themes because they don't actually have the IP, so they can't actually do them. But you can tell like
and they did one for, like, as you can see, there's an alien one now and things like that.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like with Snow here, so I have zero idea what most of these themes are, even about not really watching many horror movies. I don't watch many horror movies either, so between the theme and the solo aspect of it, this is not one that I pursued, but honestly, the game looks really fun. So.
Yeah, I think that's very true. I used to do horror movies until I became the person I had to go check on the things that go up in the night. So now I don't do horror movies anymore because they scare me. Like I'll be in bed and all of a sudden something will happen around my wife will be like, "What was that? Can you go check on it?" No, I'm not gonna go check on that. Really? I'm like, I've seen that movie. I've seen that movie. Yeah. You walk downstairs and he's got a baseball bat and he's right behind you. I've seen that movie. I'm not gonna go. Or else the power goes out. Can you go check the breaker? No, I'm not gonna do it. Why not? I've seen that one too. That's one where I'm walking with the flashlight from my phone cam and the guy behind me gets me. I've seen this one too. Not gonna go downstairs.
Yeah, I love it. And yeah, Marcel mentioned I don't normally either, but it depends on the type of horrors, slashers, no, sci-fi genres, yes. So, which is true, which is nice because I think the first series was more of the slasher ones, which I just don't watch those movies. But now these are getting more movies that I will tend to watch. So.
Yes, like some of my favorites: Alien, Event Horizon. Some of the other ones I really enjoy. Well, actually, I just got done watching a series on Netflix. It was a Korean movie about these guys that had to go to moon to find water or something. It was pretty cool. It was kind of a little horror-y, suspenseful movie. It was pretty neat. I liked it. But it was actually just a show. It was like a episode show. Anyway, sorry. Keep going. We got lots to talk about. I want to talk about my game, Steve. Let's go.
Yes, let's do it. Sorry.
But as you can tell by the comment section, there's a lot of people that like Final Girl.
Yeah, there are.
A lot of people talking about Final Girl.
Okay, let's keep going. The next one to talk about is going to be one that I know I'm really, really excited for, and Peter's all over this one. Skytear Horde.
Oh, Skytear Horde.
Yeah. So this one is based upon the same group that did Skytear, which is a MOBA type game. Peter has some playthroughs of it on the One Stop Co-op Shop stream channel. But this one, they're coming out with a first fully cooperative board game. So it is the same setting, but a very different game. And it is more like a tower defense type game, which I'm excited for that. I love the style of games, and this one's got that fun, like magic-ish type feel I get the feeling for. Maybe it's better to say the more of a, well, whatever. It looks really fun. Like the nuances of how you be able to play your deck looks awesome. You guys are cracking me up. Yeah, very chatty, three of us, but just us. Yes, I know you guys are awesome, chatting a lot. I love it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
cool. But yeah, this one we were going to play it, stream it this past week, but schedule changed, and so we're going to do it Tuesday next week. So the same day this goes live, Peter and I should be playing this live for you guys.
I'll have to give it a shot,
Yeah.
or not. I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, Hearthstone. Thank you, Snow. I was trying to think of the name. Hearthstone's
Oh
new.
yeah, Hearthstone. I played that for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
It's not my deal.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But when it comes to that, because it is a video game type thing. But it's like, yeah, I knew mechanics and nuances, all that. But I'm excited to see this one, Steve. This one looks pretty cool. Again, I think I'm digging a hole. I'm gonna stop.
Excellent. So those are the upcoming games this week. Let's talk about those are coming to Kickstarter or whatnot. So let's move on to the rest of it. Let's talk about games we're excited for.
I'm excited for a lot of games. Everybody's excited for games. Games. Show me games. I will play any kind of game.
Oh yes, for sure. There's so many things coming out too. So let's start with let's start with this one that it's been a long time coming. And right, I know we both tried it out, and that one is going to be Oathsworn.
Oathsworn. This game looks sweet. It's got a nice set of mechanics that are going to be sweetness. It's got a long story that you get to go through before you even get to a giant boss fight. So instead of like a settlement phase that you have from Kingdom Death, you get like this engrossed story that you get to learn about these characters, or even get to recruit new ones and things like this. The card mechanics are amazing. You do have a real powerful move, but you got to make it come cycle it back in order to get back to you. Things like this. It's got giant miniatures. The only problem is you don't know what you're fighting if you do it this way. You can do it this way. You don't know what you're fighting until you get to the actual battle. So when I record this, I'm going to have to do the entire story part as one thing. And then as we get to the battle, I'm going to put it on the battle board, open the box, and we're going to see this guy next time because I have to paint it.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I got a question for Marcel for Bairnt. It says, you went for the standee version, right?
Yeah, totally. That's sarcasm. That is sarcasm.
Yep.
No.
Of course not.
This one I may have not only maybe went a little bit all in on this one with the big giant trees. I got the push to fit. That's an interesting thing that I haven't seen very often. They've got push to fit like weaponry. So if you get if your guy's wielding an axe, you have an axe. You have an axe arm you put on him, and then later you might be able to upgrade that to like a giant spear or something. That whole arm removes, or that like part of him removes, or her. And then the next one you just push to fit the next one right in. And then now it's got a spear and stuff like that. So it's a really cool system. So the good news is I don't have to magnetize these miniatures to put the right weapons on like I do in Kingdom Death.
Did you play this one or try a demo it? I can't remember if you did.
Yeah. Yep, I'm one of those people who have to throw the rat at the rat.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I demoed this as well. We demoed it at one of the Gen Cons. It was a lot of fun. I really liked this. And it felt so dynamic when we were playing it. Mm-hmm. Like, and things just made sense. Like you said, yeah, you pick up a rat, throw it at its mom, right? I think we had something to do with the tree too. We could mess with the trees in the area. It was a lot of fun, and the cooldown system is awesome. It reminded me a little bit of Sword and Sorcery, but I do like how this one worked. Where it slid down the track until you got back. Yeah. It really planned forward. And the other thing is this one can be used with rolling dice or drawing cards from a deck.
Boom! I forgot about that part. Yes, mm-hmm. I'll be rolling the dice. It's hard to say. I'll roll dice when I record it, but I won't roll dice when I'm playing it. That seems to be my luck. And if I'm playing with Colin, I'm never allowed to roll dice against him. Because for some reason, I destroy all his characters every time. Like, okay, what do I need to roll? I need to roll these blank symbols. Hit, super hit. How's that? Is that good? No, that's not good, he said.
But yeah, no, this game was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It was a blast. It's going to be a huge game. And it's cool because it has this narrative element to it, but I believe there's ways you can skip over the narrative as well if you don't want to get into nuance and still play through the game. They did a lot of things to adjust the playstyle for different likes and dislikes for this one.
And I do like the fact that you can do that. I mean, Madara does that too. They've got those spark notes. When we played, we just used those because I know otherwise it'd be a long stream of words and stuff because it's a huge story. So yeah, it's nice to have games coming out that are doing that.
For sure. Yeah, this is gonna be a huge delivery. What did you do?
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those big boxes that shows up.
Oh, for sure. That's also one. Do you know when this one's scheduled to deliver by chance?
This year.
Fair enough. That's
Good.
all.
Good job.
I feel like this has been the one that's been delayed a lot, or like changed, or like it just
Yeah.
got so much happening. It's hard to guess.
Look on the bright side. Has a better chance of delivering this year probably than anything Kingdom Death is throwing out because he just sent out a message again saying something like, "Oh, shipping's a little weird right now. Not sure we're going to be pushing this back." I'm like, really? Again, pushing back?
Marcel. Oh yeah, Robin's giving you crap. Huge delivery for Bairnt? Never.
Yes. So my kids stopped being excited when a box would show up thinking it's theirs. They've stopped doing that. Because they know it's most likely mine.
Yeah, so I guess Oathsworn and Anne's Trespass are my entries into boss battlers. Sorry,
Yes.
Townsville Primal Monster Hunter, which is true. There's been a lot of like really cool boss battlers lately. Yeah, and all of those games are big ones. Oops.
Yeah, and it all kind of stemmed, I think, from the play of Kingdom Death. I really think a lot of people saw that design and started to work inside that design space.
Yep.
And it's interesting to see which ones came out first. I was kind of interested of all these big ones that are coming out, like Oathsworn, like saying Aeon's Trespass, things like this. It was Townsville Tussle that actually made it to people's hands.
Yeah, that was quick turnaround. I was surprised with that one.
Yeah, did a good job.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay, let's keep moving on. Let's move on to one we're both getting for sure. It's another huge one. This one I think might hit April for US. I think March for everyone else. That is Marvel United X-Men. Another giant delivery. I don't know if you saw the update recently, Bear, but they showed the Kickstarter exclusive box. It is 3 layers deep.
Oh, that's sweetness.
That's a lot of miniatures.
That's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm getting Colin. Well, interesting story. Colin and I talked about this one. Since he got the Marvel one, I thought I'd get the X-Men one. And then after I completely went all in on this thing, Colin messaged me and says, I couldn't stop myself. I went all in. I'm like, what?
Wait, Colin went all in too? I thought you guys were getting
I backed out. And then after that, he was after it, like the whole thing was over right about when it delivered the base box to you, I was like, oh my gosh, they've got the X-Men game. You got the X-Men one. He goes, yeah, why don't you go ahead and take that one? I'm like, really? I would have probably gone all in on it then. So I'm the one getting X-Men, but it's actually being shipped to his house because he's the one that actually backed it, which is kind of funny. So we had to do some finagling, and now I'm the one that's actually getting it. We've gotten to the point now where it comes to these big games that we're working on together to get these, because there's no reason for both of us to own something like this, since we live so close to each other and get a chance to play games together. And so he can record it, I can record it, and we usually drop these games back and forth. Like actually right now I have I have his Marvel United. It's actually out there. My son and I were playing it. So I have his Marvel United right now. And then if he ever wants it back, he just calls me, or if I finish playing it, I send it back. And we do have a lot of games now because there's no reason, since we're so close, to both of us paying $400 for a game on Kickstarter when we can just kind of pass it back and forth.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, this one I'm super excited for. I did get the X-Men core delivered early, and loved it. Like I think they did it's even more value than the previous core, just because all the flexibility of having those purple characters, those that can play as heroes and villains, and I like what I'm seeing with the direction of the character design too. They're taking a step further than what was in the previous series. So loving this one. Can't wait to get the rest of it. Especially with the Sentinels, because I know we basically knew the rules for the Sentinels, and so Kim and I decided to do a playthrough of those, and we kind of just had to assume what the health value were. But if they work as what was advertised, those are awesome. They add another layer of puzzle depth to the game. because you can't always play the optimal move because the optimal move changes based upon where you are in relation to those sentinels, which is really, really fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to dig into that one and see them. There's a ton of miniatures again, though, so it's another one of those where I'd probably paint the ones as I want to play them. It's not gonna be like I'm gonna paint this whole game, sit down and do it. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to do that.
Yeah, yeah. And Marcel mentioned about painting them too because they are a fun paint. I've heard Marcel mention it, and I know Howard's been having fun painting them. But there's gonna be a ton of miniatures to paint for sure.
And the good news is you can find pictures of them all over the internet, so you can paint them exactly
Oh
how
yeah,
they're supposed to be, which is pretty cool.
for sure. But yeah, this one will for sure take over the channel for probably a good month or two when it arrives, judging by all the content and how much we like it over here. So this was a big surprise for me. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marvel United X-Men. Can't wait for all the X-Men. Plus, I'm an X-Men fan. Love X-Men.
Right.
Let's move on to another one. This one is kind of speaking of taking a game and kind of tweaking the original formula. Seventh Citadel.
Oh yeah, this one I'm excited for. If those don't know, I have done actually 2 complete playthroughs of the Seventh Continent on my channel. Super fun. I can't get enough of this type of game, and then this one is just going to add layer upon layer. It's adding layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. It's not just adding like one thing. I mean, this is like it is a whole new game, and the system is still similar with the cards you're putting down and exploring the tiles that are there and stuff like that. But now it's adding in potentially like NPCs. It's adding in like I believe like a base camp type concept, and you can like go out on instead of doing curses. It almost seems like you're doing like different quests and things like that to find other maybe potential quest givers or quest objects along the way, and explores even more. You're able to, I think, upgrade your decks and stuff as you're going through this. There's just so much. I think it's like they took the Seventh Continent and took everybody's like feedback about like what they wish they could have done with Seven Con. Like, hey, it would be really cool if you could have done this. Oh, it would have been neat if this would have happened. And they made this game, and it's going to be awesome. And it better deliver this year. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It comes out this year. We'll see. I mean, it's you never know. Sometimes. I mean, they are kind of. I shouldn't say small publisher, but I mean they really are on the like Seventh Continent, and so now it's just this. So
Right.
we'll see. Hopefully it does come, and they're able to get it done.
Right. Yeah, this I get the same impression that you did you when you mentioned this. Like, this sounds like they took all the feedback and made this game from that feedback from Seventh Continent. So I'm really excited to see what this turns out to be. I haven't played Seventh Continent, and I did not jump into this one because just I don't know. It's probably something I would really enjoy, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be something I want to stick around my collection for a while. I guess what comes down to it. So.
You'll have to find out because this one's gonna be good. They did. I mean, for example, they took out like the hunt. I think they kind of took out the hunting and having to get food from Seventh Continent because people kind of thought that was kind of a drag. I didn't mind it. I thought it was kind of neat that was in there because all of a sudden I had this like tension of needing to find a place to get cards back kind of thing. I thought that was really neat. But some people like just the wanting to do the story, which of course there is a variant for that, where you can't die in the Seventh Continent technically.
For sure. Yeah, I do like the system of trying to how the cards lay out and you can explore and the world changes as you move through it. It's very, very cool. Very cool concept.
I guess I didn't know this, but before Colin sold his copy, he actually put the entire continent onto his table.
Oh, that's fun.
Which is kind of neat. I've never done that, and I don't think I probably ever will because the continent is finite. I mean, it is
right.
The amount of cards that whatever it is to be the continent. So it's kind of interesting that he did that. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and Marcel mentioned this too. The Cardaventura, which sounds like Seventh Continent Light, which sounds really cool. I've seen that mentioned a few times.
I didn't know about that one. I'll have to look into that one because I'm a big fan of Seven. I really like it. I played it twice on the channel. I played it more than that outside the channel. I introduced somebody to it. They actually enjoyed it. We did it. We actually played it while my wife and kids actually went to Colorado without me for a week, and he actually came over a couple times that day, that week, and we actually played it because I could leave it set up wherever I wanted it. So it was kind of cool.
Cool. Yeah, and Kiki on our channel is the one that mentioned Cartaventura, so she's a big fan of these types of games, and yeah, she'd be proud for sure. So that's a good call. Cool. Okay, let's keep moving on. I'll move on to talk about another like big open world exploration type game. Stars of Akarios.
Oh, this is another one. Go, Steve. Oh, so fun.
I can't wait for that. When this one was mentioned at launch, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the game. This sounds like the game I've been waiting for." That's what came to my mind. Like, if I always wanted some type of space, kind of almost like an open world where you can jump in a spaceship, fly around, have space battles, land on planets, go explore planets, and this has that. This is that type of game. And it's got a similar feel where you've got the different cards you lay down on the table as you explore the world and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been yeah. I was like, I don't even remember this one. What was it? 2020 Kickstarter? It might have been. It's been a while. It's been a while coming. I don't
Nice.
remember.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, but this one
So,
looks really fun. With some cool world exploration, and you have pilots which you can level up and choose different skills. You can upgrade and modify your ship. It's got an AI system in it. Yeah, I'm very, very excited for this one to deliver. And it sounds like it's delivering this year. I don't remember when, though. That's probably
it
check.
should be delivering soon. They had an issue with the dice, whether or not everything was ready to go.
That's right. That's right. So it should
And they
be.
actually did an unboxing of it, which looked, and they have they use those cool trays with those like little game tray type things where it actually keeps like all your pilots all together in one thing.
Oh
Super
yeah.
excited for that.
Where's that picture? There's a
Um,
picture of that train here someplace.
yeah. And also the
Right here.
like double-sided map, which looks really neat. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be awesome. Yes, there are a lot of cool things that this game's got going for it. This is one of those things where it's like I'm glad this game came out when it's gonna come out because it's one of the first ones that kind of were doing this type of thing.
Yeah.
I think it would have gotten lost in the shuffle if it would have tried to come out now. There's a lot. I feel like this is gonna be the year of the space Kickstarters. I've already seen like it stemmed from this game and potentially the ISS Vanguard type concept. Like I'm glad this is coming up before them, or it might have gotten drowned out by that one,
Hmm?
um, which is good because this game is going to shine awesome. It's gonna be a super cool game. But I think the ISS Vanguard is kind of in this game probably have sparked people who have kind of started moving towards the space thing. As I mean, I just put a preview Kickstarter for Rogue Angels, which looks like a really cool space crawling dungeon crawler, which it hasn't really been. There have been a few made, but they haven't really hit the mark. So I'm excited for this one. I hope this one really hits the mark. I think they've made a pretty easy, straightforward game that is going to be really cool with a lot of neat mechanics. And I think a lot of publishers or even newer producers are kind of moving towards the space genre now because the fantasy genre has been pretty saturated and has a lot of them out there. So it's good to see some in space now.
I agree. Yeah, I love fantasy too, but like honestly, sci-fi, it's just we don't have enough of them out yet. So I'm really excited to have a lot of these, and I think Marcel's comment here is pretty apt for Stars of Curious. At least how it presented to me, like X-wing dogfights in space and narrative exploring like seventh continent. Like I feel like those
Yep.
two comparisons seems pretty accurate on that.
Put those together, and what do you get? Good game.
Exactly.
Great
Exactly.
game. Fantastic game. You get potential game of the year.
I'm also
But we shall see.
excited. Yeah, I'm excited too that this one actually comes with an app as well, so we can have a fan base missions and created content, which is really cool. So even after you
Oh,
play through all that campaign normally, depending on the player support base, you may have quite a few to go from there. So
that's pretty awesome.
yeah, I'm excited for this one too. Really, really looking forward to this. This is definitely hit the channel
This
for
might
sure.
be the last game that both Colin and I and Bax before we started saying like, "Hey, why am I backing this if you're backing it?" kind of thing. So I know we're both getting this game.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to. We're excited to play this together. That's one of the plans too.
For sure. Cool. Let me move on to another one I wanted to talk about, and this one, I had a lot of fun playing it, and I'm looking forward to even more after playing Assassin's Creed, and that's going to be the V-Sabotage Ghost. I
Boo!
Yeah,
Get it, Ghost.
it's Ghost. Yeah,
Wrong Ghost.
love V. Well, it used to be called V Commandos, but they changed it to V Sabotage.
Watch out! It's not V Commandos anymore.
I know, I know. But I love this system, and I love the tactile elements, the cooperative elements of this. It's so fun, and it's nice because it doesn't take too long. Like even the Assassin's Creed, our missions are taking like anywhere from like about around 90 minutes. You know, I mean that's perfect timing for that type of stuff for a big old miniature type game. And Visa Sabotage is just it's faster playing and easier to get to the table. And the ghost of this is really cool because it added leveling up, which I've been enjoying quite a bit in Creed, and I'm excited to see it be brought in this environment. And I've done the preview playthroughs of this one, and they add some new dice where you can now manipulate your odds quite a bit, and you can actually it works really well for solo because you have the ability to build your character in different ways and start with equipment too. So you have a lot more levers to pull in this one, and I am just super excited to get this one to the table. Oh, question about the name change. Snow mentioned why the name change. Name change is because there was you can guess, a particular video game publisher that decided that the name V Commandos was too close to a name of another game that they produced. Let's put it that way.
What was the name? V Commando?
No, it's not. It's not V Commando.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a different name.
Okay.
It's a commonly used name, aka Commandos. And so,
Yeah.
because of that, they were like, that's too close. You guys had to do something else. And unfortunately, in the board game industry, when looking at being able to challenge it, you don't really have the financials to challenge that type of stuff because the margins in board games are so small. You don't really make much, so it's not you're not able to push back on that type of stuff. Unfortunately, so they decided to it's probably best just to rename it. So.
Yeah, but it's easier to do that. I mean, sure, I don't know how much of the fan base is going to be upset with something like that. I don't think.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is like the backs of the cards all have V Commandos on them. So unless you rebought the deck, you would have some mix match and labeled cards. So it unfortunately does cause issues a bit, but I mean,
is that if you're trying to combine like the games together to kind of do a mission and stuff like that? Because I'm guessing it probably plays off each other.
It does, yeah. Yeah, officially you're not supposed to combine them, but I combine them and I have not had problems with it. So it's just that it was designed to be the separate experiences because there's 4 expansions for this game, or sorry, 3 expansions I should say. There's the core game, there's Resistance, and then Secret Weapons, and now Ghost. Ghost is the one that changes the game play a lot. The Resistance and Secret Weapons adds more variants to what you already have, and they all add more loot you can get, more characters you can play, more tactics. The tactics are really fun because like Secret Weapons added Goliath tanks, which are like small unmanned tanks that were controlled by wire. So you would drive them up and explode them. It's basically like a moving TNT thing. And so it's interesting because the bad guys control them, but there's a control station on the map, so you can take it over, and then you can control them and go drive them up to a sub and blow it up, which I may have done in the game. It's really fun. And Resistance adds, of course, Resistance fighters, and you have poison smoke in that one, so you can hit gas barrels and take out everybody into space unless they're wearing gas masks, which is really cool. So there's a lot more like nuance to what you interact with in the environments for those games. And then Ghost added the campaign with persistent leveling up in that, and some more solo support stuff like that. So really excited for this one. Cannot wait for it to come after playing so much Assassin's Creed. So this one's high on my list.
High on the list.
Mm-hmm. Cool. But yeah, those are the 5 games we plan to talk about today that should be delivering this year. Honestly,
but there are more.
There are so many more.
So many more. That's why we decided to do a 2-part episode for this one.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll see how long you get if we can get through the.
We could probably talk about this for a month.
Probably.
If we thought of 3 games we're excited for coming out this year, in theory. If you notice, I didn't put Anne's Trespass in here, which is one I'm kind of excited for because I'm a little worried about that one. But we might talk about it in the future. We might even have like a honorable mentions, oh please, please come out episode. But probably not.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, there's so many games coming out, and yeah, if you guys want us to talk about any particular game that's upcoming that you're excited for too, drop it in the comments and we'll try to cover it. So yeah, these are the ones that we decided to start with, and I know I've got a bunch more that I can't wait to talk about.
We have to like the game too. If we don't like your game, we're not going to talk about it.
That's true too. Fair enough.
So if it's not a dungeon crawler, I'm sorry, we're not going to talk about it here at Co-op Shop. No, I'm kidding, of course. There are a ton of games I play that are not dungeon crawlers. You could probably tell from my wonderful collection back here that there's a wide variety of games I play, and I enjoy every type of game. And I just enjoy playing games, and I enjoy playing games with people that are really fun and passionate as well. It's usually my goal in life is to not only be passionate of games, but make other people passionate as well.
Yeah, I've seen some comments coming up. Darkest Dungeons mentioned. Dungeon
Oh,
Universalis.
Universalis. In theory, I'm getting that at some point.
Oh, cool.
The designer reached out to me, or actually, he reached out to us, and I took it upon my shoulders to potentially do that game. I'm still reading through the 609-page rule book on it, but we're getting okay. It's not that big. I'm kidding, but it's a big book. It's a big book. So if it actually does, when it does actually get here, I'll be pretty close to ready to go on that one.
It wouldn't be the same without Snow mentioning Primal, of course.
Oh yes,
So
that's right. She had a comment right at the beginning. It goes, "This would be a great year if Primal comes out, and this would be the worst year ever if Primal doesn't come out."
yeah, I don't know when that one's coming out. That's a tough one, but that's gonna be an awesome game.
Colin backed that one, so he has all the updates on that. That's the only bad thing about doing this with Colin, where we kind of both back our own type of stuff, but are going to be able to play it together. Is I don't get the updates on the ones I'm still interested in because I didn't actually back it.
Right.
In the future now, we decide who's backing it, and then if he's backing it, I'll actually still do the dollar back, so I can at least get the comments or the updates and things like that on it. So I'll actually know kind of what's going on.
Yeah, Snow mentioned September's is the current trend for Primal. Oh yeah, Burn Cycle in March. Yeah, Burn Cycle. That's one that I might have regretted not backing. I did not back it because I hadn't played a single Chip Theory game at that time. So now I've played. What's the Too Many Bones? I played Too Many Bones since then. Only one time. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And
you did. Good.
Yep.
Good.
So that one, Burn Cycle's got stealth, and I love stealth games, so I'm looking for that. Lashing Tales was mentioned. That's great too. And Isofaren Guard.
Come on, Steve. That's like one of your ones you really. I'm actually really excited for that one. I'm sure you are too.
Which one?
Isofaren Guard.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, that one got pushed back a little bit later this year, but oh my gosh, that is a blast to play. I had a lot of fun playing it.
Spoiler alert: that may be coming soon in our co-op chat.
Yes, it's looking. I'm feeling pretty confident it's coming out this year. So just a little bit later because it originally was first quarter. Now it's second quarter. Now it's looking at third or fourth quarter at this point. So, but it's also one of those games that when I talked with the designer, he's like, you know what, I'm going to make sure that we take the time we need to make it the best product as possible, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm really excited for these games, but at the same time, it's not. There's so many other games to play, so whenever a game comes out, I'm normally okay with it. So
I've got that point as well, Steve. I mean, I totally understand when people are first getting this hobby and being like, no, they're pushing my game back. It's like that's the one you've been looking forward to and stuff like that. But at my state and probably your state as well, there's a lot back here I haven't fully enjoyed yet. So if something's being pushed back to make it better, I am totally for it. Though I can see both sides of this, where it's like, but they said it would come and like be that. Like for example, if poor Snow here found out Primal's delayed, like, oh, we're gonna delay it about a year and a half. I'm sure she'd be like crushed because sure, there's other games she could play, but that's something she was really, really excited for. So I can totally understand both sides of this story.
For sure. I know Snow also mentioned Keep the Heroes Out, which I really excited for that one. I don't know if that's coming out this year. It might be. Oh my gosh, there's so many games. We can keep going, but yes, we'll have to talk about this next week for sure because there's a ton more to mention.
This is true.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone for joining on this chat. It was a lot of fun. We're gonna keep this. We are back for foreseeable future, continuing on with these weekly chats.
Couple weeks off, but now we're back. We're ready to dig in. We're ready to be here for co-op needs and all the fun and excitement that goes along with it. It's super good to have you all in the comment section because it really keeps us motivated, keeps us going, and on top of that, gives us something to talk about while we're just sitting here looking at each other.
Right. Exactly. Sorry, Marcel. We'll plan for maybe a longer one next time. How about that? We'll make it up for you. Yeah. So I know too quick. So okay. Oh yes, happy birthday to Bairnt.
Oh Robert. Yes, it is my birthday today. I kind of forgot until right now.
You forgot. Happy birthday, Bairnt.
My kids are probably upstairs waiting for me to come up and open presents because they've got me a couple things. So I probably need to go up there now and get my presents.
Yes, and even more reason to end it now. So go enjoy your day. So that's awesome.
I will. We got going to my parents for dinner tonight, and then we got some Dungeons and Dragons happening tonight. That's my birthday.
That sounds like a perfect day. So presents, games, family, love it.
That's how it goes. Cool. Well, Steve, it's always a pleasure to be here. It's awesome to see you. I'm glad everything is well with you, and it's glad you had a good holiday. Looking forward to next week and we're talking with you and everybody else that is here.
Excellent. Awesome. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you the next stop. Bye bye.
Take care.